Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. As promised, we're having a conversation with the Minister of Environment and Power of the state of Goa. A quick update to our viewers. There is a railway line, a highway, and a power transmission line that the central government had approved for Goa. These are three key infrastructure projects that the central government approved during the lockdown. In the meantime, over the last few days, thousands of citizens of Goa have come out into the street holding candles, doing midnight marches, protesting these the projects because they will cut through the forests of Goa and cost what is being estimated as over 59,000 trees in a protected forest of the Western Ghats, in a national park, and will also cost wildlife that is not found anywhere else in the world. Now, if you want more details about these projects and the protests, there is a video that we've done just yesterday speaking to these activists about it, and you can take a look at that video. But today is about speaking with the people in charge. I want to welcome Mr. Nilesh Cabral, who is the Power and Environment Minister of Goa, who's been kind enough to agree to this conversation. Now, for our viewers' benefit, I have not shared any of the questions beforehand with the minister. He has agreed to speak to us. He just knows that we're going to have a conversation about the scope of these projects. And I also want to acknowledge that he has agreed to come and answer all of these questions, which is really what we expect most from those in government and those in charge, to share information and to answer questions. So I appreciate the fact that he has come forward to answer these questions. Mr. Minister, thank you for speaking with us. My first question to you is simply this. Is this a plan to make Goa a coal hub? Given the government's Sagarmala program, will Goa be a coal hub?
Absolutely not. There will be no coal hub in Goa. There will be no coal hub in Goa.
Just like that? But okay, let me then take you through the Sagarmala program of the government.
You ask me a straight question, I give you a straight answer.
All right. But then let me give you a rebuttal. According to the central government's Sagarmala program, there is a plan to make Goa's Murugao port a 51 million metric ton per annum coal hub by 2035 to cater to plants of steel around Karnataka. Are you saying that this is not the plan?
See, now, what is the Sagarmala, what you are referring to are not only one, there are 5 volumes. This is Sagarmala 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5. Now, these 5 volumes, each of these volumes has 450 and 550 pages of each volume. Now, this is not only containing to Goa. These entire volumes are speaking of Sagarmala. Sagar is the water, the rivers or the sea, and Mala is connecting all of them together. Based on this, there was a consultant appointed by the central government. And as you know, consultant, I can see your beautiful office behind. You must have used some consultant on your own design, of making somebody do it for you, or you must have done it on your own. Like this, the government of India has appointed a consultant, and the consultant is given what is the best thing you can do in this area. Now, whether this government of India or the government of Goa is accepting this is a question mark. Now, Sagarmala 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what you are saying is absolutely right. It is a projected thing in the report of a particular consultant, which is uploaded on the website of the shipping ministry. Now, how much of that part is going to be part of the project is a question mark. If you ask me what is required for Goa and whether this feasibility is there, MPT has already written to the central government that this thing of the Sagarmala projections is not viable in the state of Goa. Now, what is required from the state is we are following up and we will get a confirmation from the shipping ministry that these particular things in Goa, what was projected in the consultant's program is going to be dropped. So the question of 54 million metric tons per annum or 138 million metric tons per annum is something which is shown on a face of a book and a face of a 500 pages into 5, which is 2,000-3,000 pages volumes. This is what all I have to say.
So are you telling me that the coal that's currently being moved through Goa, there's already coal being moved through Goa, will not increase? It will stay at the same level?
See, when I see today, what happens is politicians, as you know, public perceptions are very bad. So let me not talk in air. I will get concrete, like how they have shown, how the activists are showing Sagarmala 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me some time. I will come back to you with a concrete proposal or whatever you may say, that yes, what we are saying is a fact, and we are not talking of Sagarmala 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is conceptualized, and we are coming with a statement or with a fact that all these things will be dropped from that, and only this will remain. So give me some time. We are working on this model.
Okay, so the current plan to expand the Hospet-Vasco rail line, to expand the NH4 highway and the jetties, will that continue?
See, I'll explain to you. Let us
Yes.
not mix together. Let us
Okay.
talk about the double lining of the railways. This was emphasized in 2010 and 11. 10 and 11, it was not done. That time there was no BJP government at the center, neither there was a BJP government in the state. It was emphasized during the Congress days of 10 and 11. The entire projections were done by them. And it is matured to today what it is. See, government is a continuous process. And in the continuous process, whatever has to be required in the right earnest and what has to be done for the good of the state and the good of the nation has to continue. Now, 374 kilometers of this line is to be laid from Hospet to Mormugao. Now, in that, only 94 kilometers, 94 kilometers is balanced. That is around 20 kilometers in Karnataka side, 74 kilometers in our side. Remaining all has been constructed. Now, this is a project of a double lining. It is a double lining project of two tracks, moving for the movement of tracks in movement of the train in two directions. So this project, of course, see what we want to say is never emphasized by any of our governments, but it is for a national building exercise, which I remember was put in a cold storage because the Congress had got always a say that they would project this, project that, and nothing was going forward. When Mr. Suresh Prabhu became the Minister for Railways, if you may know, a few years back, that is the time. That is the time when it came to what is happening is in Goa. We have because this is one of the earliest line laid down in the country. If you may know, if you go back on history, this is one of the earliest railway lines laid down in the country, which you have to agree on. And when these lines were laid, there were a lot of unexpected problems which would occur over a period of time. It's almost more than 100 years old line. It has been connected from narrow gauge to meter gauge to broad gauge. So this has happened over the period of time. Now, when these things were done, there were a lot of difficulties of the people in those areas where this line exists. Now, my constituency is part of this line, from where I get myself elected. And if I share my thoughts to you, I will explain to you in what is wrong in one particular, just something where I can give you, emphasize the problems over the full 74 kilometers of stretch, which is part of Goa. The existing line never had or underpass in a place called in a village called Cabral. It has got a big river of Zuari one side, then the small hamlet of around 80 houses. It is locked in between the railway track and the river, and people all these years used to climb over the railway track and cross or come, and if they had any work, they had to literally carry stuff over the railway track. When this double lining work was supposed to commence, I said to the railway official, these are my problems in my constituency. I require an underpass here. I require overbridge here. I require underpass here. I require river draining of this river water which gets accumulated in the tracks. All these works are part of this project now in my constituency. Now, these particular three phases, there are three parts of this project in Goa. One is the section from Mole to Kule. The second section is Kule to Margao. The third section is Margao to Vasco. The section of Kule to Margao, where the work is going on for the last 2.5 years, is already operating. There's nothing else there to see. So 2.5 years, I have sorted out all my problems of my constituents, where they have done underpasses, overbridges, whatever is required is part of this project.
Mr. Cabral, forgive me for interrupting you, but we're talking about the Hospet-Vasco rail line that you said quite rightly is going to be double gauge. Right now, there's just a single track. You'll be putting double track. Is there a white paper or a research paper placed before the citizens of Goa so far showing how many people will this line carry? How will this improve connectivity for Goa with the other parts of the country? Is this meant to carry citizens, goods, or specifically coal?
See, when say, we are a developing nation, we are not a developed nation. Anywhere in the world, if you see a developed nation which is called of that standard, there are two tracks, one coming and one outgoing. So one track coming and one track going. What is the benefit of two tracks? Let us forget what is the benefit of making the tracks. We are not interested in right now in showing what is the benefit of interest in the tracks. Now let us say, because people have confused, because 2 years of my operation of these tracks has never led to any people's problem. The confusion has come when activists or when Sagarmala and all that, this was Sagarmala 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was done almost 3 years back, 2 years back, it was already activated. But everybody got together and they are saying that coal will be transported here on these lines. This is the perception which is there in Goa right now, where the activists are focusing on. I want to differ from that, and I want to say one thing is, what is double tracking? Double tracking is the free movement of train on two separate lines for an incoming train and an outgoing train. This is a must today. Time is precious. Time is precious, and people who travel by train cannot stay for just because we must be having from Vasco to
Yes.
Goa. We must be having at least 18 to 22 stations, and you can't
Yes.
expect a train which is a express train, like we have a express train coming from Nizamuddin, that is in Delhi to Goa. It's called Vasco Nizamuddin Express train. Now for this train to pass, they have to stop a lot of other trains on the track or the side of the track. Why? What is the reason? Because it has to go fast and to the designated stations. Now, if you go to calculate what is going to come on that, whether there is a feasibility of the tracks or what is that, that is the lookout of the railways, not for the part of the state government. Because what is happening is railways have in the white paper, if you have any, you can share it with me. Railways have never carried white papers before to do any projects. It is done based on the request of the people or how the feasibility is there on basis on what it is.
All right, forgive me, Mr. Cabral. I have to just point out here. You did say that it is done on the request of the people. My understanding is that the request of the people of Goa right now is not to do this. Secondly, you said it's not necessary to actually do a feasibility study or to do a study of how many people will move back and forth. I don't think that's right. Thirdly, you did say that it's important for people to move fast, whereas it is an understanding with the railways and the other transportation ministries in the central government that through a forest, the last thing you need is for a train to move fast because it runs over animals. And in fact, trains and vehicles that move through forest areas are supposed to move at no more than 10 kilometers an hour so that animals can get out of the way. I don't believe you've answered the question I asked you, but let me move on for the lack of time.
I will not. I will answer what you have said.
Please.
What you are saying, this particular track is more than 100 years old, where it is coming from the same line. So
yes.
whether there are two trains or a single train, the animals have to cross the track. You agree on that point? Whether it is a single track or two tracks, at that particular juncture, if the animal has to cross one track, means it will cross the two tracks.
We'll have twice as many trains is your argument, sir.
No, that will come to you again. No, but I'm asking you to answer me that if there is a single track or another track, that same animal has to cross both the tracks. You agree on this point? That is one.
Yeah.
Now you said twice the number of trains, what you are saying. That is a wrong conception. See, this is a guard section. This is a guard section. There's a limitation of train movements in the guard section. And there is no, see, this particular track ends in Goa. It does not continue from Goa. It is not like Konkan Railway. There is another track which goes through from Goa. It passes through Maharashtra, and there is a lot of movement of intercrossing trains. This particular movement which of track is for the second track which is coming. It ends in Goa. So what is ending in Goa is going to come to Goa. This is one. Now, as far as the intentions of the people is, you will have double, 2 times, 10 times the train passing up and down. It is a very wrong notion. But yes, there will be movement of extra trains because you will have up and down movement. Now, in this particular thing, there has been almost 8 or 10 animal bypasses, overpasses, which are designed when this double tracking is going to happen, number one. And the tunnel length of the train, which was existing, I think there was some 4.5 kilometers, now it has gone to 8 kilometers. So even including tunnels have been made, are being designed for the very purpose to keep the animals safe. I don't say no, I don't say no that there might not be deaths of animals, but whatever precautions are required to be taken, it's been taken care of this in the section.
Mr. You haven't answered the question, first of all, Mr. Cabral, of why this train line is being built at all. Where is and let me also point out to you on the central government's website, where they normally put up details, this particular project is not put up right now in that website as to details as to why it has received approvals. So just on behalf of the citizens of Goa, let me ask you this. What benefit will the citizens of Goa receive from the double gauging of this train line?
The benefits, see, now there are a lot of different types of class of people in the state of Goa. Today, Goa has got affluent people, semi-affluent people, and people coming from the weaker sections of society. The general trend, if you see who travels by trains. Now, the section of people who travel by train are from my constituency. Some of them are from my constituency. And there used to be, see, Goa does not grow vegetables 100% what they consume. Now these vegetables are brought, fresh vegetables are brought by trucks. Their contention is that if this movement of trains are there, they can sit in the morning in Belgaum, where the wholesale vegetable market is, and in 2 hours or 1 hour we can get fresh vegetables in our Goa, whichever markets are. This is the first contention which people want. Forget the government, people say. Secondly, see, when this particular train was operating before, when it was a meter gauge, when it became it became a broad gauge, there used to be many trains which used to operate. And what used to happen in these trains is there used to be a lot of connectivity for these people to go here and there. I myself as a kid with my dad I have traveled in these trains in the past. Now, if you ask me, define what are the benefits, which I cannot define as of today, but I can only say that it is for the people of for the state of Goa who travel by trains, it will be a wonderful benefit. Now,
Mr. Cabral, let's be honest, you are the Minister of Power and Environment, and you run the government in Goa, you represent the government in Goa. So if I were to ask you what the benefit is to the citizens of Goa, I mean, while I appreciate stories of your childhood and your youth, I would want to know how many people are currently traveling on this train line. How many more are you expecting to travel on this train line? How is the train line currently falling short? How many new trains will you add, passenger or goods? What will the goods train carry? And at what cost will people be moved on these trains? And as a result, what benefit will it bring to the city of Goa? If you don't have those numbers, then it becomes a little difficult to have this conversation, doesn't it?
No, there's no problem. I can tell you. See, number one,
yes,
the conception, what you are thinking, or the people, the so-called activists or people of Goa who are opposing this, as one thing, that there will be a lot of coal traveling on this train. I can assure you that the present setup, what is happening is whatever is activity, it might not increase more than 5%, which we will not allow it to increase. Okay. That is one thing I will tell you. I will tell you one thing very clear, that we will not allow it to increase, maybe here and then 5-10%, but not more than that. Not what is 54 million tons, not more over 138. This is assurance I can give you right now. This is one.
Thank you. For how long will it stay at 5%?
That's what I'm saying. I will give you a letter made by the central government shortly, maybe a few days' time, where they will say that Goa, the capping on the port will be X. Whatever is coming today, if you say X, then X plus Y equal to whatever. That is the assurance I can give you today. Now, what are the activities? See, when we started, see, there are like Konkan Railway, when it started, we never anticipated Ro-Ro ferry services. What is Ro-Ro ferry services? Goods truck trains are normally when you have intention is trucks move on roads. But if you say in the Ro-Ro ferry services, trucks are mounted on trains and they are moving around. This was never conceptualized. So things will be done what is required. So the contention what people of Goa have, that the coal is going to be enormous. I can assure you that it will not. But we will come out.
Let me rephrase my question, Mr. Minister. I'm reading right now a report in the Deccan Herald quoting Mr. Manohar Parrikar, Chief Minister of Goa, dated 17th of July 2013. He has said, and this is what it says, in a major setback to the Southwestern Railway's doubling of a track between Hospet and Vasco, Goa government has refused permission to lay the double track in its jurisdiction. Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar has told reporters, and I quote, "I have refused permission to the double track of the Southwestern Railway. We don't want it. We are not giving any permission to the double tracking because Goa does not need it." Can you tell me, please, between 2013 and 2020, what changed?
See, when Mr. Manohar Parrikar made that statement, I don't
Yes.
know what was, see, when news reporters bring something, the entire thing is not said. Let me be very frank. The entire thing is not published. There must be statements before that. What is the reason you must have made that statement? I don't deny that what you said is right or wrong. I don't deny. But what has happened in 2013 and 2020 is one thing what we all have to say. We are a developing nation. We have to be developed. Now, what has changed in Goa? What has changed in Goa to say that after 7 years, why do you require a double track? As I told you, that in my constituency, I just give you an example of my constituency. My people in the constituency had 3-4 issues which has got sorted out when this double track was done. Because railways did not want to invest more money in putting underpasses. Their contentions were different. See, if you go to the Railway Act or railway rules, whatever are there, you require so many passengers traveling on the railway crossing or vehicles crossing for the central government to invest in doing underpasses and overpasses. Now, if I can do it without the state or anybody investing in this, what is wrong with that? Okay. So what is benefit? I'm telling you, now let me finish. I forget my constituency. The constituency after me where that particular issue of 4,000 people or 3,000 people where the candlelight thing. There are 2 panchayats there. One is the Chandor Panchayat and one is the Girdoli Panchayat. Now this is where that 4,000 people were sitting on the track and whatever things happened, you are aware of. That particular Gram Sabha of a village, I have attended both the Gram Sabhas of Chandor and Girdoli. You know, there's a railway crossing there, which is there, and the queue for the existing traffic which goes, the trains go. I have been pursuing to have a overbridge or an underpass for last 6-7 years, which has not, which never even railways were adhering to.
With due respect, and I appreciate what you're pursuing for your constituency, and I'm sure the people appreciate it as well. But my question is about the forests. And as the Environment and Power Minister, you are accountable for the forest. And so if you have given permission, and let me make this clear to the audience, if the central government has passed a project, they will only do so after the state government has signed off on it. 59,000 trees, Mr. Cabral, are going to be cut in the forests of Goa inside a national park.
See, that's what I'm saying. What you are saying now, you have come to forest. So let me answer to your forest, because you are asking me what are the benefits. So I think I've clarified what the benefits are. Okay. Second thing is 59,000 trees are to be cut. Now, entire details I don't have right now with me. But let us assume that 59,000 trees are going to cut for the double tracking part of it. Now, cutting the forest to the national park. Now, this railway line was to come to Goa from that particular section side to come to Goa. It is the entire Western Ghat. There is no other way to come to Goa because you are on the Deccan Plateau. We are not on the Deccan Plateau. We are below the Deccan Plateau. So we have to come to Goa. So we have to come from the entire Western Ghat, whether it is here or whether it is on the right-hand side or left-hand side, whichever side coming to Goa by train has to come from the Deccan Plateau if we are coming from that side. So if we have to improve our infrastructure connectivity, I understand, I am also concerned. But let me tell you, my dear, that Goa is the only state that has got 33% forest cover and 66% forest natural cover of different types. So people, these activists don't have to tell the people of Goa how to protect their forest. You can see from the statistics which are there in the forest, no other state has got 33%. We are 34% higher than the national average. And our forest cover is 66%, which I did not do, which is there for you to see from the forest department. So a few thousand trees, if have to be cut for a particular section, it has to be cut. I'm very blunt on it. That is number one. Number two, let me finish. Don't interrupt me. Let me finish. Then you can ask me any question you want. See, you told me, you told your audience also, I have never asked the questionnaires. So that shows me my integrity and my decisions in work in what I am doing. So let me finish my statement. Number two, if 59,000 trees are being cut, I know they have grown over a period of say 20 years, 50 years, 70 years. No, there's no doubt about it. I have already, as Environment Minister, promised the people of Goa that there's particular trees which are being cut. We will grow 3 times in Goa in that particular stretch, because there are a lot of stretches in the forest which do not have tree cover. So we will see that we grow 3 times the forest. Now there will be people who will say that biodiversity will be disturbed, this will be disturbed, that will be disturbed. See, those are all things which will be disturbed. There's no doubt about it. But as far as the trees are committed, I being the Environment Minister, we have a biodiversity board under me. And I can assure that we will sign a project with the project proponent and the biodiversity board, along with the biodiversity committees of those villages, where the entire 59,000 trees will be replanted 3 times in Goa. And we will see that they grow to that size over a period of next 8, 10, 15 years. This is my commitment to you.
Thank you. And I'm not going to heckle you on the answer, because my job is to ask the questions and the audience is listening. So I appreciate that. Yeah. I also find it, I think it's nice that you feel comfortable enough to address me as my dear. But for the sake of professionalism, I would appreciate being called Faye or Miss D'Souza, which is my name. On the matter of the few thousand trees that you are talking about, let me point out that according to the Indian Express, there is an article on the Indian Express that is again dated the 3rd of July 2020. In this article, it says that the Goa State Wildlife Board members have spoken to the press, saying they did not give clearance for the passing of these 3 projects. Due process was not followed. And let me quote what some of them have said. They have said that according to them, no recommendations were made. They were not made aware of the agenda of the state board meeting when they were called. The mitigation measures that were offered by the government were unscientific. And they also said, and I quote, everything has been given to these projects on a platter with scant regard for the biodiversity or the richness of the Western Ghats. My question to you as the Environment Minister is, was due process followed when giving approval to these 3 projects, the road, the railway, and the power station?
See, Faye, I would like to say that first of all, the State Environment Department does not give concurrence for this project. It's a central project. MOFC gives, Central Ministry gives, number 1. Number 2, what you said is from the Forest Wildlife Board, which is a state board, which I am not part of it, but I am aware of what has conspired there. The project was put. See, what happens in a forest, there are a lot of people who are there. You cannot expect 100% saying yes or no. There are almost 25, 22 members or 23 members in the entire board. So somebody or the other will always object. There's no doubt about it. But what is the cause is important. Now, what is they are saying? I am here again telling you that whatever their contentions are there, that yes, these things have to be done because these things are being done. I'm ready to, we will do it. There's no issue. What is the issue? There's no issue to do it. When I'm saying as part of biodiversity, we are ready to plant 3 times a tree and we'll sign with the project proponent, because the project proponent who is there, who are there, railways are here to stay. The Tamnar line, whatever electrical line is going to stay, whatever lines, whatever things, they're going to stay here. They're not going anywhere. So we'll make an MOU and a proper understanding government to government along with our biodiversity where things are done in a proper way. Now, I never said that whatever those people said, there were more than 20 people in that board. So 3-4 people might differ or 5 people might differ. There is always a difference of opinion. So this is a democracy. So there is always a difference of opinion. But difference of opinion does not mean that you entirely change something which is there. Yes, we will take precautions. We will do things which are required to be done.
Okay, so my question was due process followed? Can you confirm that due process was in fact followed?
Yes, as I told you, Environment Department of Goa, these are not projects where the Environment Department of Goa is doing. Now the project had come to the Wildlife Board of Goa in the Forest Department. So in the board, the minutes are there, everything is there, it's correct. So whatever is there is there. Now due process means it has been placed in the board meeting. It has been, that time there were virtual board meetings because at that particular time there was COVID maybe. And it has been minuted and finalized and it is already circulated. So once this is done, we said, okay, the State Wildlife Board has said, okay, it has gone to the center. So from there, the other steps start.
Okay. All right. So the audience has heard that answer. I have a couple of more questions, if I may please ask. We understand that there have been a great number of trees that have already been cut inside the forest. 2,600 trees have been felled for the Goa Tamnar project, which is a special purpose vehicle by Sterlite. This was again approval given by the state government, by the chief secretary handed out the approval. I know that the people of Goa are particularly upset about the fact that the trees have also been felled inside a protected forest to build a badminton court for the executives of Sterlite who will have to come and live there. Is this true?
Absolutely wrong. Yeah, first of all, the land which is there, see, I told you Goa is 60% forest cover, and this particular land is not in the wildlife sanctuary or it is not in the wildlife park. This is private land, 1,73,000 square meters of land, 1,73,000 square meters of land, where 2,650 trees have been cut, which have been cut with all permissions. Where, see, if you are building a project like Goa, if you are building a project, you have to take permission from forest to cut, and you have to log them, you have to cut them as per the log size they give, and it has to be stacked for them to lift it and take it. So this has been done. It is not in the wildlife sanctuary, it is not in the reserve park, it is private land of a private individual, where the project proponent has bought this land and taken due diligence permissions to cut these trees.
Was the Sterlite team given police protection last year by the government?
See, what happens, see, I'm sorry, Faye, what happens is, number one is, this Sterlite is a company and they have got a contract on a PPP project, which was tendered by the central government for bringing this line from Narendra to Goa. In between, the 28% of this energy which is being brought to Goa is going to be used by the people of Goa, because it does not cross further. Now you ask me whether police protection was given to these people to do what? Now, when they did the initial survey, see what happens, it is under the Central Act, they published the notification for survey, because survey is something which we call in Goa as Section 4, when we implement to acquire land. So when it was done, people didn't know what it was for, and they wanted to see the feasibility of the project and the viability of the project at that time. So that is the time, maybe, I am not also very aware if police were given. But see what happens when if I come to your house and you don't know me. Now Faye knows me, no, Nilesh knows Faye. So if I come to, maybe you will recognize me as Nilesh. But if I didn't meet you before, but I saw you on TV, so maybe I know you, but you never saw me. So if people like that walk into your property, so they will always complain. So police will have to come. So it is because of this particular nature, when these people were seeing the feasibility of the project, that is the time maybe the police, they ask for police help. Okay. Not to do any work, to see the feasibility study of the project.
You have been quoted as the Minister of Power and Environment, Mr. Cabral, in the press, saying that people who are currently protesting against this power station should have their electricity cut. Do you see this as a democratic reaction to protest?
See, that is what I said. No, newspapers or whatever is shown in the Facebook or print media does not have the entire column. Now, what did I say? Is in the same, see, this particular lines about the South Goa. At the existing South Goa, there are two lines coming from the same wildlife park, 110 and 220 kVA line coming down from the same wildlife park, which is giving power to the people in South Goa. Now, these people of South Goa are already having this light. Now they are consuming the powers. Now these people are opposing new people of getting their power supply. So what I said to them, that government of Goa is the only state in India where we are giving 50% subsidy on solar roof. So if you put a solar roof and you spend, say, 100 rupees, in 6 months, government of Goa is giving 50 rupees. So I told them that please put solar, so that whatever power you are consuming, we will be able to disconnect that power. Or you give willingness that I don't require any more power from the grid. So whatever power is said by all who are saying, this will be given to new people, so we don't have to bring more power to Goa. This is what I said. I never said I will disconnect. I said use solar power to convert into your houses, because you can maybe afford, or you don't like the thermal power, because these people are activists. They don't like, because 80% of the power which is coming to Goa is from thermal burning of coal. So now as environmentalists or of social activists, they should feel good that they can generate their own power and use their own power. Technologies have changed. So I requested them not this way. I never said I am going to cut the power. I don't have right to cut the power.
You didn't say you were going to cut their power. My next question is, we understand that your government has filed FIRs against those people who have protested. You personally have made statements on this show calling them so-called activists. The government has also made statements saying these are not people of Goa, these are people who have come from outside. Is there a problem with democratic protest in the state of Goa? Because we've seen visuals of these protests. People were dancing, people were singing, people were carrying candles. What part of this required an FIR or merited an FIR?
See, this is the contention. No? What has happened is there is no, in Goa we have two Maidans called Azad Maidan and Loya Maidan. These are Maidans for protest. They are defined for protest. You go and protest, you know. You see, in whichever 4,000 people are protesting, there are more than another almost 14 lakhs, 55,000 people who are living in Goa. So what I am trying to say is by blocking the road or putting the channels, there's no wrong in protesting. Protests have been going on and protests are there. We have been also protesting in various ways. But that is what you are saying about lodging of the FIR against them. Now, how far it is true, or I mean saying how far it is good or how far it is bad, it is a cause of the Department of Police to see and identify on what basis they have filed a FIR. That is for the police to do. Now, as you ask me ethically, and if you are asking me whether you should file a FIR, see, I come from a constituency where my particular railway station was named in a different name. The people of that particular constituency wanted to be changed. And I have been also part of this protest. I also have been arrested. So who says no? Arrest is part of development. Arrest is part of progress. Arrest is part of democracy. Arrest is part of everything. So why? What is wrong in that? So if you are protesting,
Mr. Cabral,
yeah, tell me.
Forgive me. In fact, arresting protesters is the very opposite of a democracy. Arresting protesters is what the British did to Indians.
Let me correct
You
you.
are not rulers. These are not your subjects. These are citizens.
There are places for protest. You can't protest in the middle of road, or you can't protest in the middle of the train and bring problems to the people of Goa. You protest. Who's saying no protest?
But these protests happened at midnight.
So whatever you mean to say, Goa is live. Goa is 24 hours. We are in a democracy. We should be able to travel wherever I want to go, wherever we want to go. So you protest in a place which is meant to protest.
Tell me something, Mr. Cabral. You said that these are so-called activists, not really citizens of Goa, people who've come from outside.
I never said. I never. Please. I never said.
So you believe these are? You believe?
I never said people of Goa. There are people of Goa. I said so-called activists.
Okay, but you believe these are citizens of Goa? These 4,000 people who came out to protest.
Of course, see, I don't know whether they are citizens of Goa, but they are citizens of the nation, which I believe.
Okay. Then why aren't you listening to them?
Who's not listening to them? Who's not listening to them? Who's told you who's not listening to them? But listening to them, I told you, no, they are against coal being brought to Goa. We are listening to them. We will bring a document where we will say that this is the cap. There will be no more that 54 million metric tons and 138 million tons is not going to come to Goa. Of course, we are listening to them.
Will you give us a commitment, Mr. Cabral, that you will not touch a single tree until this paper comes from your government?
What is that tree? For what? I didn't get you. Please answer again. Please ask me again.
You said activists are protesting because they believe coal is being brought in and they're misinformed, and you will give a document, which you've not given up till now. You will give a document in the next few days in writing that the coal will not be increased. Will you give me a commitment that not a single tree will be touched until you can give it to us as citizens in writing? That no coal will be moved, no extra coal will be moved through Goa?
Faye, there are two things.
Yes.
You are doing three projects, what you are referring to. One is the 4-lane road, one is the double tracking, one is the electricity line. Now, electricity line and coal has got nothing to do with that, correct? Or you are saying that we are going to, this coal is being brought here to Goa to generate electricity. Is that you are saying? You are saying about a double tracking.
No, I'm saying that your government has moved 3 projects without any clear understanding of the benefit to the people of Goa from these 3 projects. The
What is
coal
the
is being moved to Karnataka. The roads and the rail has been brought in to move coal to Karnataka. The line is going through Goa, and there's no clear understanding of what power Goa will benefit from this new line and why it can't be substituted with other forms of electricity.
Faye, listen to me.
Hmm.
Electricity is required for Goa. Goa, 5% increases of the electrical consumption of Goa is increased 5% every year. It is there with me, black and white. I brought a white paper. I've shown how the consumption. Now people make allegations there is industry and this and that. The allegations will be made. But there is actual 5% which is not happening nationwide. No state is increasing by 5% electricity consumption. So we require electricity. What electricity is coming right now to Goa in the next 3-4 years, if we don't increase the infrastructure, because today, whichever successive governments have done, whatever who has done, at least we don't have power cuts in Goa. We have failures, power failures. We don't have long 5 hours, 6 hours power cuts unless there's a drastic accident or there's a drastic line falling accident. So, but we know that from the present requirement, we finish. From the present requirement of the power, when we can understand technically that in the next 4 years from now, the power which is coming to Goa is not going to be sufficient on the basis of last 10 years study of 5% increase in power. So do you want me to, because that is why you want me to stop, because to cutting those trees, that's what you're trying to tell me?
No, I appreciate the fact that you said that there is a white paper on the consumption, the increase of consumption, and how we are going to prepare for the increase of consumption. In fact, it was similarly this white paper that I had requested for the railways as well. Where can the citizens of Goa find this white paper? And my other question to you very quickly about the power.
Because I have given that white paper of electricity, but there are some other demands that I should be put it on my website. I will put the 2-3 white papers, two white papers, and the third one will come shortly, on the official website of the Electricity Department of Government of Goa. Okay. Tell me, what is the next question?
I just want to point out to you while we're having this conversation that the Goa Department of Environment websites are not functioning right now, including the Forest Department. Maybe that's something you can have a word with the IT team of your office.
What you said? What did you say? Environment Department?
Website is not active.
So see, what is happening? I will explain to you. I'm aware that it is not active. The reason is because see, we have a state data center in Goa where all the government departments are connected to. SDA we call it. It is located in Altino. It is full. It is full. So now we are on the verge of moving to the NIC cloud, Lake Raj. So we are making space in the data center. I agree. It is getting blocked. It is getting blocked. Right now, we try to give little space. We have been asking space. And it will happen in the next 1 month. I assure you that my entire website will be operating.
Okay, so you'll put up the white paper, but the website is not working. Anyway, the people of Goa will figure that out.
White paper, my electricity department is not on the SDA. My electricity department has a separate, server in my department where we can put. So that is viewable because you open the Goa Energy, it's a vibrant website. You can open it right now and check it. It is working fantastically well. There's no problem. But environment department, because it's a small department, it is connected to the state data center. As far as the electricity department, because it's a big department, we have our own server. So you will be able to see in the next 2 days. Monday when you open, you will see the white paper of mine put on the website.
Excellent.
Of the electricity department.
I would request you that since 66% of Goa is forest, maybe the environment department should no longer be considered a small department. But I understand the central electricity
authority. What I mean to small department is not the way you are saying. Forest is something to do with forest. They have a department separately by them. Environment is a separate department by ourselves.
Okay. Speaking of the Central Electricity Department, the Central Electricity Authority has forbidden running new lines through the Western Ghats. They have said to find alternatives. Has this been discussed with you?
I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
The Central Electric Authority of the Government of India had decided that new lines, now the existing lines are already there, but new lines will not be run through the Western Ghats in any of the states where the Western Ghats are present. Alternative routes must be found.
No, that's okay. See, you said which department? You said central, which department?
Electric Authority of the Government of India.
Faye,
yes.
This tender which is floated is by the central government only. I have not floated a tender. So you ask them if they are saying that you should not come, and I have told you again that we are below the Deccan Plateau. And if the power has to come from that grid, it has to come from the guards only. So I don't know from where we are going to go get the electricity. So if then let us do like this. Then we'll tell these activists who are there that we'll put a coal thermal hub here where we'll burn coal and generate our electricity. You ask them if it's okay with them. Then we'll stop bringing that line to Goa. You ask them, these people who have been questioning and putting questions to you, please ask them that whether it is okay with them that if we put a thermal coal, because see what happens, see all sources of power are there possible. There's a lot of natural gas. We in Goa, a few years back, there was a plant put on or running on naphtha, and that per unit they used to charge us 13 rupees and 14 rupees and 17 rupees and 20 rupees per unit, and government is subsidize and pay and give it to the state at 1 rupee 40 paisa, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, 4 paisa. So this is one part of it. So subsidy means what? Taking from somebody else and giving them. Right now there is no subsidy because we are working on a central grid nation. Now, if these people tell me that coal is the easiest form and the cheapest form of giving power, whereas solar or any other renewable energy which is emphasized is required, I don't say no. We are doing our commitment as 150 megawatts of power, whatever we consume, 150 megawatts of power, either we are not producing here, but we are buying 150 megawatts of power of renewable energy and keeping our commitment as per our commitment. But if we burn coal in Goa and produce our electricity, we don't require these lines. Let them answer. Let them answer.
Mr. Cabral, I must acknowledge that you've been very patient and you've answered all of the questions that I've asked you. I'll ask you one more question. Obviously, government and protesters and citizen activists are at loggerheads everywhere, in every city, in every part of the world. But could there be a channel of communication opened up between what you call so-called activists, active citizens of Goa, and your department, where you can have these conversations with them and involve them in the decisions of the state? Explain to them as you have explained to me.
Hey, I will tell you, I'm one of the ministers who has shared his mobile. His mobile number is shared entire state of Goa. I don't get. I take all calls. You or ask your person who has taken my appointment. I must not answer the call, but I must have call back to take. So what I'm trying to say that I'm available, access. I don't require an appointment from my OST or my PA. I give my own appointment. That is one. Number two, I roam freely in Goa. I don't roam with a government car. I don't roam with police protection. So I'm not afraid of what I do. I am very open. I am very selfless. And I don't believe that when you are in democracy, you should be with the people. And if you see my record of elections, you will see that I win with the highest margins in Goa. It's because this is a trust what I have generated with people of my constituency. Now, as far as these people are concerned, I am ready to talk to them. It is not that I am not talking to them. See, if you have a concept that no, if you have the concept of no, then what is the use of talking? So if you have a concept of yes, let us discuss and find solutions, of course. Because this is not my requirement. This is not some factory which is coming, or this is not some industry which is coming. These three projects are for the state. It is whatever maybe today you don't look at it. Today you don't look at it as whatever angle they want to look at it. Their contentions of coal not coming, I'm with them. I'll come on the road if today I am on this seat, or because this is, see, as a reporter, you are always on the seat of reporting. But I am, as a politician, people decide whether I sit on the seat. So even if I'm not on this seat tomorrow, and if whatever commitment, if the government is giving, when the central government gives that this million tons is the capacity, and if it increases by even 1 ton, no, I'll come and sit with them, I'll sit with them, and I will see that this is the commitment. This is my commitment. And
my last question to you, Mr. Cabral, is that there is right now a criticism that your government in Goa is unable to represent the needs of the state in front of the central government, because right now you're allowing the central government to do whatever it pleases with Goa and you're not able to stand up for your citizens' rights. What is your response to that criticism?
See, that is why they are saying, because they are saying that state government has sold to Adani, Jindal, whatever they go and say. I'm not bothered about that. Now, this state government is going to bring a letter from the central government that what is projected in Sagarmala 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where they are hyping, is not going to be executed in the state of Goa. So what is left in that? So that their contention is that coal should not be brought. We are bringing a letter, I said, which will be on record. So who is saying that we are bowing to the central government? We are the same party. We are elected government of the state. And we have the right to ask my central government leadership that this is what we want in Goa. And as far as BJP is concerned, I can assure you that whatever we want in a sense for the state of Goa, it will be done. And we will get the letter to you, and maybe 15 days or 20 days, you can ask an appointment again for a conversation. I will share the letter with you again. I'm very confident that my government and the center will listen to the state government.
All right, Mr. Cabral, many thanks for speaking with me here on my YouTube channel and answering all of the questions. I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Faye.